Hello friends, how's it going? It's me, Betty Jean. Today's video is going to be the beginning of my top 10 series. I'm doing it again. Last time I did it was last year. I kind of break down my top 10 in each category. Not every category because there's some things like concealers, powders, foundations I don't really have enough of to really condense it down to a top 10. It just doesn't really make sense. I will do full in-depth makeup collection and declutter videos at the end of the year, so stay tuned just a couple months until I kick that off. But we are kicking this one off with highlights. So I'm gonna be going over my top 10 favorite highlights. I'm very excited. I had a really both hard and easy time collecting the items for this video because some of them I was very sure of and then some things I had to kind of battle between a couple other things. So I'm excited. I think this is gonna be fun. I'm excited to do the rest of the series. I'm going to be doing blush soon. I'm gonna do cream and powder blush. I'm going to do my eyeshadow palettes. I'm gonna do lipsticks and lip gloss. It's gonna be a lot of fun and I can't wait. Before we hop into the video, I wanna know what you think my #1 favorite highlight is. Leave it in the comments, don't cheat. I'm so curious to see how many of you get it right. I think a lot of you are gonna get it close even if you don't get it right. And I would also love to know what your #1 favorite highlight is, or you can leave me your top 10 if you have a variety of highlights. Also, before we get started, I did of course film this look. I film every look you see on camera. It should already be up on my Instagram and my TikTok by the time this video goes up. And then my details, these plugs are from Undoubtedly Mad, and I'm not sure where this choker's from. It might have been Amazon or something. I got it a while ago. It was just like a random find. Anyways, with all that being said, let's just hop into the ranking. All right, let's dive into these top 10 highlights. I thought it would be helpful to just do it face down like this so you could really see everything up close. I'm gonna kind of swatch these individually, but then at the very end, I will do like a montage of all the swatches together. Not really a montage, that's the wrong word. I'm just gonna have them all laid out on my arm in order. So let's dive into it. First, I wanna start with an honorable mention because I love this highlight with my whole heart, but I had a hard time putting it in this ranking because it's a liquid and the others are all powders, and I also don't love liquid and cream highlights enough to make its own video, so I wanted to still shout this one out in more of an honorable mention form. It's really hard for me to pit liquids and powders next to each other because I use them for different reasons, but I wanted to quickly shout out the Rare Beauty Enlighten Liquid Luminizer. This is so beautiful. I've been wearing it so often the last 2 months. It is to die for. I'm gonna throw it on my hand here. They have a few shades of this as well, but this is the one that I've been using. I really like this, especially on a day that I'm not really wearing any makeup and I just want my skin to look amazing. This also looks great with makeup. I love this. It blends so seamlessly. I don't blend this on top of powder, but it does just blend nice with all of my cream products, and if I layer a powder blush next to it, it always works nicely for me personally. I love this. I've never really loved a liquid highlight the way I love this one. It's flawless, it's fantastic, and I just wanted to throw this in the video. Even though this isn't technically part of the top 10, I still wanted to give it its quick little moment. So I'm gonna wipe this off and then we will actually get into the top 10. Ranked number 10, I'm giving to my Juvia's Place Loose Highlight in the shade Cleo. This is amazing. I've loved this for years now. I'm pretty certain I wore this on my wedding day, but I feel like I barely remember the makeup I wore that day, so I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain this is what I chose. It is just so beautiful. It's sparkly and shiny, but it's so smooth on the skin. It just looks so buttery glowy. It always hits the light so perfectly. The sparkles make your skin look so shiny, and this isn't like a textured glittery kind of highlight, but it does have shimmer sparkle to it. It's so pretty. I knew this was gonna make it into my ranking. It was definitely a lot higher last year, but since then I've discovered a lot of things that I love more. But this one is just beautiful and it goes with everything. If I want a highlight that's just gonna look smooth and bright, this is definitely a contender and I just love it with my whole heart. Ranked number 9, I'm giving it to my old faithful Flexitarian from Colourpop. This is actually my second one because I totally ran through my first one, and this one's actually kind of getting low as well. I don't wear this all the time anymore. This was my #1 for a very long time. I still love it, but obviously I don't love it as much as some of my other ones I'm going to talk about anymore, but it's still so beautiful. It's kind of like a cream powder hybrid. I feel like someone in the comments is going to argue because I said I don't really want to put creams and powders together. I don't consider these a cream. They have a very putty kind of texture, but I'm able to kind of use this on top of powders. I can use this with a brush, sponge, or finger, and I just love it. It looks so incredibly bright and just also very smooth. Again, it kind of goes with everything if I'm not sure what highlight I'd want to wear. It just looks bright and icy and beautiful. It's not too white and frosty. It is just absolutely stunning. I love this one. It's forever one of my favorites, and I just knew it was gonna make it into the ranking again. This is such an old faithful. I love it. I've loved it for years, and I don't think I'm gonna stop anytime soon. So ranked number 8, I'm actually giving it to the Soul Main palette from Oden's Eye, and I'm not as a whole. Like, I do love this palette, but if I'm gonna use palettes in these rankings, I'm gonna be focused mostly on one shade, and that one shade that I wanna focus on in this palette is this one down here. It's so beautiful. Again, I love all of these. I love this palette as a whole. I use all of the shades, but this shade in particular is my favorite, so that's the one I'm gonna focus on for this ranking. So ranked number 8 is this particular highlight from the Soul Main palette. It's kind of like a golden, icy color. I don't know how to explain it. It's very unique, and it's so, again, just shiny, pretty. It looks very smooth, but it also looks very glitzy. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. I love this. It's so bright on the cheeks, such a beautiful color. I cannot get enough with it. There was a period of time when I first discovered this palette that I didn't want to use anything but this palette, and I could probably still survive with just this palette because it's so beautiful. But alas, I do love other things more, but this one I knew was gonna be in the ranking. I'm pretty certain this was actually ranked number 1 in my ranking last year when I did this video. So I'm happy to say that it's still one of my favorites. It's just not my number 1 anymore. There's been a lot of cool things that have come out since this one. Ranked number 6, I'm giving it to another Colourpop highlight. This one is in the shade Seismic. This one, as soon as I tried it, I was like, you know, I think Flexitarian has some competition now. This came out with the That's Taupe collection last year, which is one of my favorite releases Colourpop has ever done. I'm not the biggest neutral person, but something about that collection just made me so happy. This is kind of like Flexitarian. Again, it's that putty kind of texture, and it's very bright and very shiny, but the difference is this one has like little glitters in it. They're not chunky, they don't feel like glitters, but they are very sparkly on the cheeks, and I love a sparkly highlight. You're gonna see that as a common theme going forward. I think everything else going forward has lots of sparkle in it. I love it. I think it's so pretty. It just looks so magical and whimsical on the cheeks. Such a beautiful highlight. The reason this one made it ahead of the ones I just talked about is because this one has more of that sparkle than the other highlights I previously talked about do. Ooh, it is just so bright. So gorgeous. I love me some sparkly highlight. This one, when I first discovered it, I wore this one non-stop. You could not stop me from wearing this. Oh, it's just such a good highlight. Rounding out the bottom 5 of the top 10, this is ranked number 6. This is the Oden's Eye Norns highlight in the shade Web of Destiny. I love this, and I've recently been wearing this one again, and it's just so beautiful. It is such a lovely, hand-poured, pinky golden, sparkly highlight. I am obsessed with it. There's 3 others in this particular highlights line, but this one is my favorite. The blue one is also awesome. I think that one is called, you know, I don't remember, but this one is my favorite of the 3. Just look at that pinky shift. Again, it has that sparkle to it. It doesn't feel like chunky glitter. Honestly, none of these that I'm gonna talk about feel like chunky glitter. If they have sparkle in them, they don't feel chunky. But just look at that pink shift. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. It is so eye-catching on the cheeks. Anytime I wear this, I always get compliments. Oh my gosh, it just hits the light so magically. It also looks beautiful on the eyes. Such a fantastic highlight. I knew immediately this was gonna end up in my top 10 somewhere, somehow. It is gorgeous. All right, moving on to my top 5 favorite highlights in my entire collection. Number 5 is gonna be no surprise, Moon Cruiser from Kaleidos. You know how much I love this one if you've been on my channel. I'm obsessed with this one. This is the only, I feel like, majorly colorful one out of this range, just because as much as I love colorful highlights, ones that I wear the most frequently aren't gonna be super colorful just because they go with more things. I don't know if that makes sense. I do gravitate towards pinky tone ones because I feel like that can kind of go with everything. But as far as colorful highlights, I knew this one was gonna have to be here. Just look at that bluey, purpley shift. It is magical. Such a good highlight from Kaleidos. They absolutely killed it. Again, it has that sparkle to it. Oh, it just reflects the light so beautifully. No matter which direction your face hits the light, it's gonna shine a little bit differently. Oh, and it's just so magical. This one also, again, looks beautiful on the eyes. Oh, this is so whimsical. Anytime I do any kind of blue or purple look, I am so compelled to reach for this highlight because it's just perfect. And even though this isn't one that I'm gonna wear with every look ever, because it doesn't go with like every color scheme I do on my eyes, I knew it had to be in my top 10 because it's just so magical, so beautiful. This one always comes to mind when I think about my favorite highlights. It is pure magic. And sticking with Kaleidos, ranked number 4 is gonna be Diamond Dasher. I love this one. Actually, maybe this was number 1 in my ranking last year. Either this or the Soul Mane. These two are very high up there, and I still love Diamond Dasher so much. It is my number 1 favorite highlight from Kaleidos. Do you see how used and abused this is? I've gotten so much use out of this highlight. I could probably wear this every day. Again, it has that sparkle to it. It's just the prettiest soft pink glow where it's not overly pink where I feel like I can only wear it with pink things. I can feel like I can wear this with literally anything. It's just so soft and magical, and it makes my cheeks look so bright, and I love that sparkle and that kiss of pink that shines through. Oh, this one makes me so happy. It is so cute. Okay, moving on to my top 3 in my entire collection. I don't think any of these are gonna surprise you. Number 3 is going to be my Ether Beauty one. This is my Supernova Crushed Diamond highlight in the shade Pure Diamond Dust. I love this one. When they first sent this to me, I was a little concerned. I thought it might look too dark because in the pan it looks like a darker champagne, so I thought it would just be a little bit too deep for my ghostly skin, but it is not. It just looks so beautiful. It looks like little wet dewdrops dancing on your cheeks. I've gotten so much use out of it. This one also has a little bit of a putty texture to it. Not as putty as Colourpop, but it does have a little bit more of that creamy texture. It doesn't just feel like a powder when you dip into it. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Look how just soft and shiny and bright that is. It looks so good on the cheeks. This is another one where when I first got sent it and I tried it, I could not put this down, and I still reached for it. It is just gorgeous. This will go with absolutely everything because it doesn't have like a base color to it, so you don't have to worry about it clashing with your looks if you're a colorful makeup lover like me. It just goes with absolutely everything. I love it. It looks so smooth even though it has that sparkle to it. I live for it. Ranked number 2 is again another palette. This is my Oden's Eye Alva 2 palette. And again, I'm focusing mostly on one particular shade, even though again, I love this entire palette. I wear every shade. I've gotten so much use out of this, but Salamander here is unstoppable. This one is so sparkly. Oh my gosh. It is like a pure, icy, kind of just wet looking, but it has these multi-dimensional sparkles to it. I feel like when your face hits the light, different kinds of colors shine through. It's kind of pinky, kind of golden, kind of almost a little bit bluey in some lights. It's so hard to explain. It is so unique and multi-dimensional. I love this. And again, it captures that smooth but sparkly aspect. Oh my gosh, I get so many compliments when I wear this as well. It just looks like my cheeks are dripping. It is so beautiful. I feel like that was the weirdest analogy, but that is what comes to mind. I love this. I could probably wear this Salamander highlight every single day of my life. And finally, last but not least, number 1 favorite highlight in my collection. This will be shocking to no one. Our Lord and Savior Fenty Diamond Balm. I love this. I wear it all the time. Look how destroyed mine is. I've used this at least 1,000,000 times. I love it so much. It just looks like wetness on your cheeks. It is so beautiful. I've had this for a few years now and I just love it. I don't think I will ever, ever, ever stop loving this. Again, it has kind of that putty texture and it just feels so smooth and it almost like doesn't have a color to it. It just looks wet and shiny and glitzy, but it doesn't leave a cast on your skin. So when you change your face position, there's never a weird like stripe shining through. It just kind of looks clear and then your face hits the light and you just get shiny diamond looking cheeks. It is so, so gorgeous. This is my number 1. If I'm ever traveling, this is the one I take with me. I can never get enough of this. I love it with my whole heart. Again, it also looks beautiful all over the eyes. It looks beautiful on top of shadows. This is such a holy grail for me. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. I recently bought the pink version of this too, which I also really, really enjoy. It just didn't make it into my top 10. And they also make a deeper version of this as well. It is such a good highlight. If you like sparkle, you would absolutely love that. All right, that was it. That was my ranking. Let me just roll through it one more time with those swatches so you can see everything in order. We have the Fenty Diamond Balm. We have the shade from the Oden's Eye Alva palette. We have the Ether Beauty Pure Diamond Dust. We have Kaleidos Diamond Dasher, Kaleidos Moon Cruiser, Oden's Eye Web of Destiny, Colourpop Seismic, the shade from the Oden's Eye Soul Main palette, Colourpop Flexitarian, and Juvia's Place Cleo. Woo, that was a mouthful. I had to literally repeat that 500 times to get it all out. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm curious to see if my ranking surprised you. Did you expect something to be in here that wasn't? Did everything make sense to you? Have you tried any of the ones that I talked about today? Are any of these also your favorites? Let's just have a good sparkly highlight related chat down below. If you made it to the end of this video, why don't you leave me some stars emojis, because this was a very sparkly video. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please hop over to my Instagram. It's BEAUTBEAN. Follow me there. I post every single day, and don't forget to subscribe. I'm posting most days here as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Okay, bye.